Greetings, I'm Brendan Lowe, founder of Smartass Undies, and I'd like to share with you a little of our Smartass startup journey and how Canva has enabled us to go from zero to hero in creating a visual brand on a shoestring. Smartass Undies, we're a quirky niche brand that produces wearable rememberables, men's and women's underwear with motivational messages on the backside. We're based in Byron Bay, in the Byron Bay hinterlands of the beautiful east coast of Australia. We're pretty proud of the area we live in. We're continually inspired by the sea, green hills, and all the wildlife in our backyard. So I'm the husband and wacky father of two. In our home, some of us are a little crazy, while the rest are completely mad. I'm a registered occupational therapist. I've been supporting people with a disability for over 20 years. And I've been training in martial arts for over 35 years. I'm an insight meditation practitioner, and I'm continually striving to live a more sustainable and respectful life. But looking back, I recognize that I've carried an entrepreneurial urge for a long time, but I couldn't put my finger on what, where, and how to start. I wanted to bring my passion for improving people's lives, my interest in mindset, wisdom, philosophy, and sustainability with my cheeky sense of humor together into one place. Like many, my gig evolved from trying to solve my own problem. I love motivational quotes, and I'm constantly underlying key phrases and collecting snippets of wisdom wherever I find them. I'm aware how fragile and fickle memory is, though. That motivation, it isn't something you acquire once, retain, and move on. We could read 1,000 motivational messages and posts, but if we don't continually revisit, reflect, and regularly have prompts to keep us on track, our minds tend to roll downhill again and again. Motivation is perishable and it needs refreshing. I started thinking about how could I keep my key motivational messages in the forefront of my mind and spend less time drifting off into the petty thought realm and getting caught up with all the small shit. I want to stay on course with what really matters. So affirmation cards, great. I've got several sets lying around the house, but I rarely pick them up. I've tried out several apps, but my phone can be a world of distraction. It's too easy to move from sagely passages to watching funny animal videos in a heartbeat. I wanted something that was tangible. I thought about hiring a living coach, someone who could remind and motivate me throughout the day. Tony Robbins wasn't available, and apparently I couldn't afford him anyway. I thought about having all my key messages tattooed across my body. I'm not a big fan of needles, and I don't have that much skin anyway. I needed a way to stay on track that was going to fit in with my existing habits and routines. So, hey presto, Smartass Undies was born from a 3 a.m. brain fart. I literally woke up and thought, what do people do most days? Most people put on fresh undies and socks most days of the week. I know there are those that choose to go barefoot in commando and set sail to the wind, and to that crew, may the wind always blow in your favor. But for the rest of us, our socks and undies can be our unconventional tools for motivation. We see them when we pull them out of the drawer, or we take them off the shelf, when we put them on, when we take them off, put in the wash, take them out, hang them up, fold, put away. They're the perfect personal billboard. Changing socks and undies each day is already part of our daily routine. They have a tactile presence and can have a covert mission to keep lighting up our prefrontal cortex even when we're sitting on our backside. So we select messages that support positive mindset to keep bringing us back to the key fundamentals for living a meaningful and purposeful life. And of course, we can't help ourselves from throwing in a sprinkle of cheeky ass humor because humor makes things stick. Something else that's really important to us is sustainability and knowing that we're creating products that are low impact and ethically made. We choose to use recycled bottles to engineer a high performance fabric for our undies. They don't feel like plastic bottles on your bum. They're soft and smooth in the skin and ultra wicking. People are always surprised at how soft they are when they feel them. It's pretty trippy when the mind thinks about plastic bottles. It's hard to imagine that can be turned into a soft, supple, comfortable fabric. With over 1 million single-use plastic bottles discarded every minute around the world, over 35 billion annually in the US alone, we really want to turn this problem into a solution. Our socks, they're currently being made out of certified organic cotton, but we're looking at blending recycled materials into them in the near future. Our products are made in well-equipped factories where workers are treated and compensated fairly. The factories have regular independent environmental and social auditing, and we've partnered with a not-for-profit organisation called Green Fleet to plant trees to offset our carbon emissions. So we set up camp to serve those that seek to improve their everyday condition, who have a taste for a meaningful and purposeful life, but sometimes need a little prompt or even the occasional friendly kick in the ass to come back to what really matters. People who give a shit about the state of our planet and how we treat each other on it. We don't just want our customers to wear our underwear. We want them to wear a cheeky grin and have a happy ass and know that they're buying products that are responsibly made and gentle on our planet. I'd now like to introduce you to the rest of our team. So we have admin support. They do all the important stuff. CEO, keeping the debt collectors from the door. Our COO, a little bit bossy, tells everyone what to do. Founder, thinks he's a legend. That's what he tells himself. And our marketing manager, not a lot of experience, looking for a replacement. Some people say we all look alike. Perhaps it's some sort of Asian stereotyping. Personally, I don't see the resemblance. But seriously, being a solopreneur and starting your first gig has some serious learning curves and, of course, budgetary constraints. There is a shitload to learn, and it often feels like the clock is against you. No matter what your gig is or is going to be, though, creating a visual presence for your website, social media, and marketing is essential for any modern business. For me, with zero previous graphic design experience, Canva really has been a game changer. I spent a lot of time initially messing around with a whole bunch of different design tools. Of course, being a tight-ass bootstrap startup, I started looking for all the free shit. I spent a lot of time messing around and trying to find free design tools, sites for fonts, numerous sites and tools for royalty-free music, photos and video, sites to remove backgrounds from images, different tools to animate images, and of course, you eventually realize that a lot of the free stuff is often too limiting. So then there comes multiple subscriptions and the dollars start to add up. I've also spent a lot of money using graphic designers to do tasks and even more time going backwards and forwards, trying to get my visual ideas from my head into the heads of others. That alone can be a complete comedy of errors and can send you mad. I started thinking about stepping into the Photoshop realm, but the learning curve freaked me out, especially with all the other parts of my biz that I have to get my head around and am still working out. My breakthrough came earlier this year, where I attended a digital marketing seminar. One of the speakers was offering a free 1-hour tutorial on Canva. Up until that point, I hadn't even heard of Canva. Now, some will laugh at me, a $1 billion Australian company, but it hadn't shown up on my radar. And a big shout out to Kylie from Hello Media. Hello, Kylie, if you're out there, for such a generous and engaging course that she ran. That 1-hour course was such a light bulb moment. Straight after the course, I signed up for the free 30-day pro trial. And within the first hour, I had several social media posts created. Of course, you can start straight away with a free complimentary plan, but I think it's a no-brainer to give the pro version a trial. In that 30 days, I used Canva to change up all my product images and, of course, started creating social media posts. Now I've completely stopped messing around with all the other tools I've been experimenting with. And at that end of that 30 days, it was a no-brainer for me to continue with the paid version. For $120 US annual fee, it saves me loads of time and it saves me money from multiple subscriptions. When taking product images, I don't have to worry about getting the perfect background, making sure that I've got a nice clean screen, or use an expensive studio. In Canva, I can easily remove the backgrounds and I can mix and match brand colors in the background to create images that are more eye-catching and lively. As I mentioned, I use Canva for all my social media posts now. Of course, Instagram, and I can set the dimensions to an Instagram square images. You can do dimensions for stories when you start a creation. Of course, also Facebook, you can set them to create Facebook dimensions. I'm certainly far from a Canva expert, and there are loads of ways of using Canva that I haven't dived into yet. But what I can say is really cool is that someone like me with no previous graphic design background and skills can go from completely clueless to confident and competent after just a 1-hour webinar introduction. Now, while there are plenty of folks better qualified to guide you on how to use Canva, I'd like to at least share with you some of the ways that I use it and some of my favorite features. So I'm just going to switch over to the Canva app now and give you a little whirlwind tour. So when you open up Canva, you've got the choice to, when you start to create a design, to select the dimensions. Now, as I said, mostly I'm creating Instagram posts, and I've been doing my product images, which I've kept to the square format as well. But you can select the dimensions to match what your need, to match your needs, from Facebook post to LinkedIn post to this whole presentation. Actually, I only discovered that you can do presentations in Canva in the last couple of days when I went to put this together. And I'm also presenting this through Canva today. So I'm going to just show you a couple of little bits and pieces, and I'm going to select the Instagram post dimensions. You can choose, of course, any sort of dimension. You can customize dimensions by height and width. And as we come in here, my internet is a little bit slow, which is a great challenge when you're trying to run an e-commerce business. And of course, I mentioned before, what I really love is that I can come into Canva and I have a whole bunch, there's a whole bunch of royalty-free photos that I can access, that you can search by term up here. And of course, you have video, oodles of different videos. Again, you can search for different subject matter. And if I just open up down here, you've got a range of royalty-free music that you can match and add into your material. And the great thing is that Canva is continuing to increase the amount of content that is in the photos, the videos, and the music. And just down here in more, you can also search through Pexels. There's a range of other apps that integrate with Canva where you can also find content. Of course, one of my favorite tools, as I mentioned, is the remove background. So let me just find an image. And let me just find an image, and I can bring it over here. And you can see that the backdrop here, and I've got sheets that you can see the creases and folds in the bottom. And what I love is that I can easily go up to effects and I can remove the background. And then I've got the choice of up here, changing the color of that background. So I can choose to put in one of my brand color at the background there. There's a whole range of different backgrounds that you could choose. If I wanted to put water in the background, I can choose that instead. And then I can resize the image and move it around to wherever I like to have it. The other thing that I really like about Canva, particularly as a brand, is to make sure that I have the ability to put my logo in, particularly to deter people from pinching and reposting as their own material. So I can go down to my logo and drag it across, and I can put my logo somewhere in there as well. The other feature that is in the Pro version, I think the remove background and this feature animate are only in the paid versions, is that I can animate the text. So I can select to make that text and image move. And this turns a still image into a video, which for the social media algorithms, so Facebook, Instagram, love video. So you can get more eyes on your images and your content simply by animating it and changing it from a still image into a video. And I've certainly noticed that for the content that I put out there that I've turned into videos from still images, I have I double the eyes on it than just having a still image. And also in here, one other thing that I'd like to show that's really, I think, really important when you're starting a brand, working on a brand and your identity, is to have a look at the brand kit. So the brand kit, where you can put in your logos and you can select the fonts that you want to use regularly, that your brand fonts, and that you can select your brand colors and have them there so that when you look at a palette, you can quickly access the colors that match your identity. One thing that I'd like to see Canva throw in there is the ability to have a color search tool, so that you can if you're looking for colors from another site, another place, that you can then color match and get the number from there. Here you can add in a specific color, a color reference number, and then it will be able to provide that true color in Canva. And now we've turned that still image into a little animation, a little video. You can add music in there if you choose. So you can play the music up here to see what it is, and then click and drag and pop it in. And then you can play that little video, see what it looks like. And that's what your content's going to be. And of course, then you can download it. You can choose, of course, can download it in a range of formats here for video format, PDF, so you can keep it as a still image. And so that's a little snapshot of Canva for you with some of the key features that I really like, that I find really useful, and really importantly, that save me a lot of time. So thank you for joining me today and allowing me to share a little bit about my journey at smartass Undies and how Canva has been a game changer for us. And you can find us, of course, at smartassundies.com and Instagram and Facebook at smartassundies. Email ourask@smartassundies.com. For attendees of the summit, we're offering a 20% discount on any purchases at Smartass Undies. Just use the discount code yourask20 at checkout. We also have a 100-day return policy, and we have free shipping on orders over $75 US and $100. So I'll be hanging around for the next few minutes. If you have any questions, just pop them in. Happy to answer. Otherwise, it might be my pleasure to share this with you and enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you.